Hey everyone, welcome to the month of June. We got the market stats for May 2023, and I'm quite excited to show you what's going on because the market in the Calgary and surrounding area is insane at the moment. And I'm going to give you some good insight. This video is going to be relatively long, so be prepared, but I promise you it'll be full of really good content. So let's just scroll right down here to the good stuff, right to the hard stats. And you can see we had 3,120 sales compared to May of 22. We had 3,063. So relatively similar for sales. But interestingly enough, take a look at the sales volume. These are big numbers. 1,592, 118 is now at 1,721,780,124, 8.12% increase in sales volume. So it just goes to show we only went up 1.86% in sales, but 8% in the overall volume of dollars sold. That's pretty impressive, and that says a lot. That means there's a confidence for a lot of people to buy some higher priced real estate. And of course, the prices have gone up, so that also contributes to that bigger number. Here's where it gets interesting. We're down in new listings for the month. We're down 15% year over year. And what's really disturbing is we're down 38.5% in inventory for what we had last year. I mean, there was 5,200 properties on the market. And by the way, even that's low for Calgary. To be at 3,207, we do not have enough inventory to meet the demand. It's really that simple. 1.03 months supply of inventory. From a year ago, it was 1.7. That is not good, folks. We just don't have enough to meet the supply. This is really unprecedented. And so if you look at our sales to list price, of course, over 100%. Like these are crazy numbers. I mean, that's why we're seeing multiple offers and so many sellers are getting well above the ask price in this market. And I hate to say it to you, but if you're a buyer, especially buying, lower priced real estate, you're going to have to be very, very aggressive on your offers. I just sold a property myself in Scenic Acres last week, and we had to go 120,000 over the ask price. Now that's a little extreme. That's not what's happening, obviously, on every house, but I'm just giving you an example of there are some extreme cases. And the other thing that we are seeing now is some people are deliberately putting their house at a low price just to get an auction going. That's a little disturbing in itself, because if everybody does that, then we won't even know which houses to go see or not go to see, which creates another dilemma. Hopefully we don't go down that path. Anyway, our benchmark price is 557,000. You can see that's up from a year ago at 543. The median price is up at 506 and the average price at 551. So all of these numbers are showing increases because the demand is there. Now let's take a look at this chart real quickly. This really puts it into perspective. The blue is the month's supply of inventory that we have. And you can see we're pretty much at the lowest we've seen. In early 22, we did have some pretty low supply there, but we're about the lowest we have ever seen it in my entire real estate career. We did have some pretty low numbers in 2006 as well, but we're really low when you think of a city of almost 1,000,004 people and 3,000 listings. That just doesn't really cut it. And so you can see by looking at this chart that this is a concern. And if this continues, it's definitely going to put pressure on pricing. All right. Okay, so let's move into looking at the next chart here. And right here, we are looking at we're looking at apartment condos. I stand corrected. This is really something else. 0.79% of the apartment condos have sold. And I mean, as long as I've been in this business, since 1999, I've not seen that. So we just have an absolute renewed interest in apartment condos, and again, it's pushing pressure on the selling price. And I think a lot of it is this, that the rents are high, and people just want to get into the market and have a place to own. And of course, this is affordable, so condos are becoming very popular. But it's just almost 80% absorption rate is just really incredible to see that. That's definitely up from May of last year, 275, and that's just for the month. If you look at the year, so our whole entire year, we're at 287,080. So you can see that that's not still quite at where we were in 2014. And I hate to say, this is kind of sad, but there are some people that still are not getting back 50 even to this day, because our benchmark price is at 287, so we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. So for some of you, you might be getting close to the break even, and that's sad that you've had to wait all these years just to get back to what you paid. But who would have ever thought we would have gone through the dark days here of 2016 to 2020, where the numbers just dropped all those years? But markets do come back, and they are coming back now. So here's the hard numbers. As soon as this isn't showing it being blurry, I don't know why it is. There we go. 858 condos out of 1,089 have sold. And that is up considerable from April, and it's definitely up considerably from May of last year, which is 631. And you can see the average days on the market is 29 days. And I'll tell you, that's not even 100% accurate, because most of the time, if there are conditions on the contract, that's 14 days. So you can pretty much say that the average time on market right now is 14 days. But I'll tell you, a lot of these condos are selling in 1 and 2 and 3 days. And many of them, not all, but many of them are selling with multiple offers, especially if they are aggressively priced. So keep that in mind. Here's our market distribution, and you can see right here that 48% of the market dollars, so it's $200,000 to $300,000. So 50% just about of the entire condo market is there. It just drops when you go to 300,000 to 400,000. But really obvious, it's affordable. It's good for investment. It's good to easy to rent out. So there's lots of interest in that. So if you are looking for buying a condo, definitely reach out to me. I can give you some great advice on positioning yourself to get your offer accepted. And if you're selling, 3 things you want to look at: the condition of your condo. Is there small improvements we can make? Definitely want to have it look its best. Marketing to the right buyers. You believe me, that kind of strategy can get more interest if you know where to find these buyers, especially digitally. And then of course you want to be priced correctly. Okay, let's look at row houses, otherwise known as townhouses. Lots of first times for everything here, and I am seeing what I've never seen before: an absorption rate of over 100%, like 123.63%. I mean, it's like everything that was listed in a townhouse sold in the month of May. Wow, that's crazy. 390,500 is the benchmark price. A year ago in the month of May, we're at 363. For the year, we're at 370, 720 for the whole year. If you go back to 2014, it was 318 increase, but even year over year, 355 to 373. You can see we're up 7.49% in the prices of townhouses, and it's just an incredible demand. And I'm just scratching my head, because if you look here, 2019, 2020, I would try listing some of these. We had a really hard time selling them, and now when we put them on the market, we're really just strategizing as to how to maximize on a multiple offer situation. And believe me when I tell you, there are strategies you can use. So if you're selling one of these, reach out to me. I have a lot of experience in multiple offers, working with both buyers and sellers. And I can tell you, I've learned a thing or two because I've done this through 2006 and through 2014 and 15. So I learned a thing or two on how to maximize those multiple offers when you're a seller, but I've also learned how to get some of those offers accepted, especially if I'm working with an agent that isn't quite as skilled at it, and we can use that to our advantage when we're working with buyers. Anyway, let's look at the hard data. 497, so you can see just everything sold. 402 new listings. So it's just, it's just crazy to see this whole year has been that way. Anything in a townhouse that's good that's coming up is selling. So it seems to have no end in sight. This 20 days on the market, keeping in mind with conditions, that's 14 days. So on average, stuff is selling within 6 days. I think it's really easy to see. Part of it is that, the price, that's kind of the sweet spot. Investors, buyers, they can afford $300,000 to $400,000. And townhouses are, close to having a house because, you do have a basement more often than not, garage, little backyard, that sort of thing. So it's a pretty popular product for a lot of people. It does drop off when you go to $400,000 to $500,000, drops off considerably when you go to $500,000 to $600,000. So no end in sight, but definitely good properties to be buying. All right, let's go to semi-detached. Let this clear up here real quick. And you can see here, similar story, 119% absorption rate. These are just crazy numbers. And our benchmark price has moved to $600,500. Last year in May, we're at 584. So we've had a year over year of 2.7 increase from May of 22. So that's a pretty healthy increase when you get into that price point. And if you look here in the history, the whole year has been at 580,000. And you go all the way back to 2014, 410. What a big increase from there. Last year, we were at 566. So this just continues to be a very strong market. And just like the townhouses, no end in sight. 279 properties sold, 234 new listings. So the market sucked out all of the listings that were on the market coming into the month of May, and then sucked out every new listing that came up as well. Really unprecedented. 25 days on the market, similar story, which is really only, a week on the market on average. That's pretty crazy. And there we are for market distribution. We have almost 50% of the entire market is between $400,000 and $600,000. But here, because, these are attached properties and there's luxury, it's amazing to see that another 20% of the market is between $700,000 and $900,000. So we have a really good, solid luxury market for these as well. And even look at this, $1 million to $1.5 million, 3.36% of the market of people buying these luxury, ultra luxury, semi-detached or attached properties. Just can't say enough about this. These properties as a good investment, and the demand is certainly there. And I think the same strategy applies if you're selling that I mentioned in apartment condos. It's the same idea. You need to look at condition. You need to look at strategy with negotiations. You need to look at your the marketing that you're going to do in the property. Which buyers are you trying to reach? What are the demographics? All of these moving parts play a major role in what you can get when you sell. The old saying, pay attention to the details. All right, let's look at the detached housing market. First time ever as well, 100% absorption rate. Everything that came on the market sold. The benchmark price has moved up again. We're now from May of 22, we've moved up another 4%. So we're at $674,000. that's just continuing to be very strong. But as I've mentioned in these videos before, that is still relatively cheap compared to these other big markets like Toronto and Vancouver. We know how expensive it is there. So if you're coming from those markets, this looks cheap. We got a call the other day from somebody that was moving here from Toronto, and they asked me if there was something wrong with the house because they couldn't believe how cheap it was. And I said, there's nothing wrong with the house. That's our market. And they said, well, we can't wait to get there. No surprise. Anyway, so this year, the average price all year is at $649, or sorry, the benchmark price is at $649. That's up from $629 this time last year. And go back to 2014, $512. We've come a long way, haven't we? Now, let's look at the hard data here. 1,486 sold, 1,482 were on the market. So just like those attached properties, it sucked out all of the inventory that was there, and everything sold. So that's just absolutely incredible. And there's no question, especially the lower priced detached homes, we're just seeing, just about multiple offers on everything. I was even at a property recently where I had to stand in line just to get inside to see the property. So we just don't have enough inventory to meet the demand, and it's causing some people to even write offers without conditions. And I think that that's part of the strategy that a lot of these buyers are doing now. And if you have questions around that, reach out to me, because there's some things that you need to know and understand if you were to do an offer like that. All right, here's the market distribution. I've been talking for quite a few years as we've watched how this distribution has shifted, and it really wasn't that long ago when it was 27% of the market was between 400 and 500, and look where we are now. We now are at 22.66% is between 600,000 and 700,000. This is going to overtake the 500,000 to 600,000 range very shortly. It could even overtake it next month. The month of June could do it. That will be unprecedented, but then that now takes first place as the price range that is where most of the buyers are. We've moved into that territory. That's where we're going. The higher interest rates have not slowed this down. There is some talk that with these rate increases and a number of people where their mortgages are coming up for renewal, that some of these people might get into trouble. It's very possible that that could happen, but it's hard to know the impact of that with such high demand. I'm suspecting very little impact, because even if some of these people can't make the payments and the bank takes over, the bank's not going to give the house away. They'll sell it for market value too. So I don't think that's going to be a big impact, just because the demand continues to be so strong. We have a tremendous amount of people moving here from Africa, especially Nigeria. Still continue to have a number of Ukrainians moving here, plus the regular people that come every year from Pakistan, India, and other parts of the world. And then on top of it, we've got interprovincial people. So Calgary is the hot spot. It is the place to be, and it's showing up here in these stats, and there doesn't seem much end in sight. The other thing that I always look at is this million to $1.5 million, this luxury market. It wasn't that long ago. This was at 3.5%, is now 6.85%. So we have a lot of people that are in a financial position to buy these luxury homes, and they're doing it, and it's making our market really healthy. So leave you with this again. If you do want an understanding of where the market is for your community, always remember we're looking at the stats overall. Every single community is different. I'm giving you benchmark numbers. If you're thinking of selling, would look very carefully at what neighborhood that you're in, what is happening there. Look at the features that your home has. Every home has something different to offer. I analyze that very carefully. There is not a neighborhood in Calgary or surrounding areas that I have not sold real estate in. I could give you the history and the understanding of all of the pros and cons of every community. So I know them well, and I can always come in with some good advice, and so can my team. So just reach out to us, same as if you're buying and you want to get an understanding of where you should buy, what would have good resale, how to position your offers to get accepted. We are able to give that to you. Just have to reach out. So hopefully this is helpful, and we'll see you all next month, and everybody can celebrate Canada Day coming up.